In 2016, during that time in my primary 5, after the Easter break, my friend Mark got a heart attack while in the dormitory. I rushed out to find an adult for hope, but unfortunately, I couldn't find any. So I thought to myself, maybe the staff members were having an engagement, and I remembered that one person who never left his post, the gatekeeper. I turned around, took off as fast as I could towards the gate. I quickly explained the situation to him. He pulled out his phone and called the school driver, who kept on lying that he was nearly approaching the school. By the time I returned to the dormitory, Mark was no more. He had breathed his last and departed from this world. 2 weeks later, after the incident, I heard that the school driver had lent the van to a friend to transport logistics from his village. Ladies and gentlemen, our motherland Uganda has been grappling with one of its toughest enemies since time immemorial. Corruption, we call it. But have we ever asked ourselves what corruption is? Corruption is the abuse of entrusted power for private gain. It is a universal stumbling block that has almost affected each one of us, and now changing from a vice to a norm. A lot has changed over the years as corruption continues to manifest in our country. Admissions to learning institutions that were for far too long based on meritocracy now becoming dependent on bribes and demands of educators. Specifically for the disadvantaged, who cannot afford to pay the bribes, it has caused further subjection to extortion in other ways, such as sexual exploitation and unpaid labor, in order to gain access to such privileges. Now, what quality of education is a young generation offered if those meant to deliver it are unqualified, since the administrators hire them basing on ties and relationships? What quality of education are the young going to get if there is embezzlement of funds meant for the procurement of study materials and provision of standard supportive learning environment? Darrell Foster, a fight and fitness expert, takes a view that you fight how you train. What kind of citizens are you expecting tomorrow if the students' assumptions about how systems work involve corruption because they deem bribes necessary to get things done? What kind of citizens are you expecting tomorrow if obtaining qualifications for different professions is based on manipulation of information and statistical data rather than ability? Are you still expecting democracy to flow in our country if the aspiring leaders of tomorrow are nurtured in ways that show them doing favors and giving gifts to voters as a way to go? Aren't we tired of living in a country where the capacity of the judicial system to guarantee justice is questionable? Aren't we tired of living in a country where everything is commercialized, including religions? Maybe we aren't tired of watching other countries prosper in sports because we even swindle a little funds the government allocates to support young talent. When we speak of corruption, minds are turned towards government officials and leaders, yet we ourselves are practitioners. On our roads today, it is we that bribe the police officers so as to bend laws. In hospitals, it is we that bribe the health workers for speedy access to medical treatment. In schools, it is we that bribe the leaders for preferential treatment, and without our involvement, there can be nothing like an examination malpractice. So haven't you realized yet that it is us who have encouraged corruption? Only to win the war against corruption, it is when we join hands to fight it collectively. All it takes is a single person to start its fight. It may be me, you, or any other person regardless of their age, gender, financial status, or even their religious affiliation. I and my colleagues are ready to lead the fight as whistleblowers, for our silence hasn't yielded anything except misery. We only request our beloved government to make the reporting procedures less complicated, grant us full access to its anti-corruption units, enlighten us about the outcomes of our complaints, and most importantly, increase investment in education, especially in programs aimed at improving moral ethics among young people, like patriotism. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful tool one can use to change the world." For the Baganda people supplement it with a saying, "Akakyama amamera tekagololekeka, endeku bw'ogigola emenyeka bumenyisi," which implies that when a tree is twisted when sprouting, if you try to bend it in its later stage, it will surely break. So this reveals to us the early stage as a correct time to teach and engage all children for this cause. For the way we groom them today is how the future will look like. Empowering the little ones right now necessarily means empowering the future. Peter Egan, the founder of Transparency International, believes that People should be conscious that they can change a corrupt system. And indeed, if we join hands, start today and now, corruption is to be kicked out of our country in no time. Together we stand, divided we fall, for God and my country.